Hello everyone. How are you all doing today? It is a beautiful, gorgeous April afternoon, and I would like to do something nerdy. My fiance and I have been watching old sci-fi shows. This run is Stargate SG-1. I've never watched it before now. We're just about through the first season. I kind of left it to one side because I don't really like military shows. And anyway, this is not about the military. This is about military adjacent. I am doing fan art today, and I hope you will join me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening everyone. Welcome to the voiceover portion of this video. Today's sketch will be started on the large paper that I have here that was in the last episode. This paper is Strathmore 400 series. It is 18 by 24 and it is delicious. It is perfectly suited for pastels with just enough tooth to give it an edge to cling to without being too hard to blend on. As usual, I am starting the sketch in a Crayola Erasable. I love these pencils. They are literally just colored pencils, but they're erasable, which takes a lot of the edge off of maybe making a mistake. Unfortunately, using these erasables does have the unfortunate side effect of being hard to see on camera. I've tried messing with the saturation of the image, but there's just not enough pigment in these pencil crayons to really make it visible. Shading might be a waste of time on camera, but it does help me figure out where I want to put the pastels. And we're coming up on the most recognizable part of this sketch. That's right, this is the Man of Mans, my favorite actor so far in this series, Christopher Judge, reprising the role of Teal'c. Growing up as a young child in the 90s, watching sci-fi with my folks, I thought that the pinnacle of achievement in the field was the Doctor, played by Robert Picardo. I see now that I may have been mistaken. Plenty of love to the Doctor, but there's something about the boy. There's something about my boy and his little pouty face. I would love 2 minutes alone with Christopher Judge and a microphone and ask him what exactly he was thinking making that face, because it was genius. I don't think the particular photo that I was using for reference even captured half of the pout in its full ridiculousness. As usual, going wild with the colors, the eyeball itself is a lovely shade of blue and purple, while the shadow of the brow is a mix of browns and yellows. I have a tendency to always give the eyes some shine. It didn't show it in the photo reference, but that's the first place you look, you know? Like your eyes are just drawn like, oh, there's an eye, let me look at it with my eye. So the eye gets a bit of life to it. Kind of foregoing my usual rounds this time. Instead of going straight to the eye, I end up going to the bridge of the nose with a little bit of blue. This blue ends up getting overwritten by the yellow and becomes a very lovely shade of green, but it's not quite as dark, which I think might have been a mistake. One of the things that I like to keep in my painting is a sense of depth that you get from using dark darks and bright brights. Sometimes though, you get a little scared, and it's okay to be scared, but you also have to push yourself out of that comfort zone. I mean, the worst thing that happens is that you make a bad picture. And do you realize how many bad pictures that I make? My God, even the ones that are bad enough that they don't even make it to this channel. And there have been some stinkers on this channel, let me tell you what. Actually, one of the best ways that I've found to overcome that fear is to bring deliberately bad photos to someone that you trust and love who will not stab you in the heart with their criticisms. And then you just show it to them and then you just wait while they try to find something positive about it. I've done this to my fiance a couple times and God bless her heart, she caught on pretty quick. So now she asks me, is this a proud photo or is this a bad photo? Honestly, sometimes they find things that you missed, and they'll love the photo. One of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten is to never throw away art, no matter how bad you think it is, because somebody might still want to buy it. That hand that looks like a turkey, maybe someone's really into turkeys that look like hands, or hands that look like turkeys, or whatever. You might want to look back and see your progress, and there will be progress. As long as you keep knocking it out, it'll keep coming. Using a mix of greens, oranges, and yellows for the skin, kind of feeling more like a pumpkin. In hindsight, I should have used teal and teal colors. rather than pumpkin colors. I think I go over his cheek that I just drew down, again with a purple or something, maybe a red. So as of recording this, fiance and I actually just finished the first episode of the second season, and let me tell you, that was a blast. I can't imagine their budget actually doing all those set pieces though. That must have been crazy. Hopefully they have another episode that takes place on one of those ships, but if they don't, my god, the amount of money that was blown. I mean, how do you even get something that big into orbit, let alone get an entire film crew on there? That's just crazy. And then they just set the film crew adrift in the vacuum of space while they're flying home on the gliders. I'm trying very hard not to be super spoilery, but it is almost a 30-year-old show, so, you know, gotta pick your battles. I'm really looking forward to more quiet episodes though, because I feel like that's where Teal'c's character really shines. He's at home fighting and punching and yelling, but you take him out of there and you tell him, okay, you gotta go figure out how to drive a car or something. You know, it doesn't have to be driving a car. It could be doing taxes. It could be babysitting the general's kid. Does the general have a kid? I don't think that they've covered that yet. We need more child lore. Oh, or maybe they could get turned into kids, like that Star Trek episode, Little Rascals. Now that would be funny. My little pouty puss is done just under the chin. Still gotta do the lighter part of that though. I'm not a huge fan of this camera angle. It's very skewed. Oh, hi Rosie. I left the door open, so now my little baby girl's just coming in to check on me. Come on, Rosie, let's get you out. As much as I try to teach her, she just doesn't seem to appreciate the nuances of 90s sci-fi. She'd rather just chase this beat-up old string we got out of a hoodie. I mean, it's a pretty good string. It's one of those long flat ones. I fear I may have gone off on a tangent though. Getting back to the video, we're finally doing his lips in a lovely shade of yellow and blue. They're like a lemon and raspberry gusher. I always think that Christopher Judge looks like Robert Zadar until I actually see a picture of Robert Zadar, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, you get a pass on this one. I guess I just have this internal thought that any man with a jawline that you could cut glass with kind of looks like a cop that would, you know, murder pedestrians or something. Again, making the ears boring and uninteresting. I feel like maybe I need like an ear boot camp, like a week where I draw nothing but ears, and I would record it. And you would all have to suffer along with me for it. I like to try to clean up and blend lines as I see them, rather than just leaving it to the very end, where it might be that I'm tired and I just overlook something, just because I want to stop. Oh my god, this forehead. So you see this virulent pink that I've got going on there. I actually go back and I clean that up before the end of this video. I don't record it though, because it was kind of like at 3 in the morning or something like that. I was standing on the easel and I was just tired. I was so tired. But messing up on a forehead is kind of something that keeps you up at night. Fresh cup of tea and I'm ready to roll. This particular brew was a cranberry tea, just a regular cranberry tea I got from Superstore. I usually try to keep a collection of herbal and black teas available for any time of the day. I'm afraid this was my last dose of cranberry tea, and I haven't been able to find any more at Superstore. I'm gonna have to check other places. God dang, this forehead is bad. Looks like there's a spotlight directly on his forehead. I have no idea why I thought this would be good, and I have no idea why it took me so long to fix it. Luckily, gallery pastels are nice and opaque, and I was able to put a nice yellow and orange directly over top of it, and it almost looks like it never was touched. I do like the little tattoo he's got going on there though. Just a little bit left. I make a very simple shade on the neck, and I believe this is the first time that I've actually put any effort into the clothing, which is very exciting for me. And oh boy, let me tell you, they got pockets! They got so many pockets on this thing. It's like a fishing vest. But instead of fish, you got bullet. You know, I actually got some gold pastels in my Crayola set, so maybe I should bust out the Expressionists and give a little razzle-dazzle to that old head tattoo of his. Also, speaking of going off on a tangent, holy jeez, do I ever need to clean that counter of mine. I like to use an eraser that has a lot of big rubbins rather than a lot of dust, and it's really, I don't know, it's a great eraser. I love it. It's the, okay, I just had to go grab it to double check. It is the Staedtler Gum Eraser. So it's a beautiful tan-colored block of, I don't even know how to describe it. Regardless of what it actually looks like, the point is that it leaves large dust instead of small dust, which makes it a lot easier to clean up, but it also makes it a lot more noticeable when you don't clean it up. Between that and the pastel crumbs I got going on, it's just a very messy desk. I am a fan of how this clothing is going on though. It's kind of giving me a bobblehead vibe, which is very fun. It's something that I appreciate. Okay, finishing up this paper, we've got ourselves some Crayola. I actually recently bought a new set of Crayola because I love using them for backgrounds so much. And boy howdy, these giant sheets of paper are hard on them. I'll probably go through half a stick just finishing up this background. You know, it's too bad that you can't buy them individually. I know that doesn't really make sense for a Crayola product, but it would be nice. I think for my next piece I'm gonna endeavor to do something a little bit more interesting with the background rather than just a solid color. Maybe some patterns or some, you know, different shades in there. And I do put a backdrop shadow on Mr. T here. That's kind of cool. And I do believe that marks the end of this piece. Oh, Teal'c, my baby. Look at that little baby pout. But Christopher Judge, man, gotta be one of my favorite genders. I'm still getting the hang of these giant sketchbooks. The perspective skews a little bit when it's laying down because it's so far away from you. Kind of ends up with a bit of an egghead. I think I did all right with him. Anyway, that about does it for me for this week. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I'll see you all next Friday. Okay, bye!